So in this day and age, Charles, with AI and artificial intelligence, we should cut away human involvement in every chain of government process.
Yes, Honorable Prime Minister.
Thanks, Mr. Memafu. On the issue on corruption, you would have heard me say earlier, we're trying to mobilize ICT to assist efficiency in government system. So I said before 2027 election, we must have ICT driving public service selections, contract issuance in procurement, as well as a government system, a portal to mount complaints, a portal to accept government submissions in a world where ICT is prevalent and artificial intelligence is now firing in the engine room for efficiency. We will look into this space at the earliest to isolate human hands in chain of government processes. So, for example, a young fellow said, who asked the question? By the way, good question. Thanks, Sam. The young fellow said, 4 years ago, saw he mounted some complaint someplace in ICAC or police, etc. So, just imagine this world. Charles and every one of EU PNG can assist. At the moment, we're working with University of Queensland University of Technology for them designing specialist AI-based program that can be geared towards PNG work environment and application programs that is relevant for us. I instructed Police Commissioner already to have a national police station at the ICT platform. So a complaint comes in, whether it's corruption complaint or domestic violence complaint or any other complaint, just mounted through the ICT. So the police commissioner at the national police station that is on air, not in a physical station someplace. So a complaint is mounted in and the system picks it up. This is a corruption complaint, funnels it to a corruption place. This is a domestic violence complaint, funnels it on to. So in this day and age, Charles, with AI and artificial intelligence, we should cut away human involvement in every chain of government process. Forget about going to Borogo police station and you mount a complaint there. Depends on the officer on duty. If he wants to work, he works. If he doesn't want to work, then the complaint sits there and piles up in all the logbooks we have. So I think in AI, this sort of issue will be asked. So if the complaint is mounted, then there should be enough check and balance in the system that this is genuine complaint, it moves on. It moves on. So for me sitting here, or police commissioner sitting in his office, or every person in the responsible chain of scrutiny is able to see what is happening. The chief judge and us, we talked on this issue also. For instance, in the law and justice sector, you have a unified system from complaint launch right through the chain of prosecution all the way to justice dispensation. So I think there's a big place for AI to assist all this conversation. Within the next 2 years, we should really ramp up on AI to assist. So this sort of young fellow, he doesn't need to go to a police station. He feels that corruption is being practiced someplace. He mounts it in, and the AI system is able to process through. And if it gets stuck in an office someplace, then the next chain of officer can able to pick it. This is stuck in the office for 1 month, 2 months. What's happening? And so there's a place for AI in this conversation. In the next 2 years, we need to really find the right application to assist procurement, public service selections, just to select the officer of state. It takes 2 years from advertisement to eventually come back to government house to be stamped that this guy is the department head. 2 years can be done in less than 2 weeks if it is an AI-driven process. Eliminating Department of Personal Management, eliminating Public Service Commission, eliminating all of us. Just go through, pick the best for the job. So with this conversation, we'll be remiss if we do not embrace AI, ICT, and use it to move to the next mile and drive efficiency in this. My young man, don't be discouraged. Sometimes you're all over the place trying to mount an application or mount a complaint. But it seems like we have a mountain that you have to climb. We want to use AI and ICT to cut out inefficiency or corruption or complacency and deliver to the best we can, quicker without compromising integrity. So something I propose for us.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. We have another question on this side.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister Marape. Thank you for patiently explaining and taking us through the entire day. The document mentioned the reset was required because of demographics and over 50% of the population is below the age of 25. I wanted to know what is the government's strategy in meaningfully engaging with the youth population via this roadmap? What are we looking at in the next 20 years in terms of meaningful engagement with the youth population?
At the moment, as a planner, we now have about 4 million people, kids under the age of 17. So good question. So planning secretary, education secretary, all of us, all of government should be planning to make sure they have good education and they get out with skills to go into the workplace for self-employment or employment. And so it is statistics we cannot ignore as one of the work that we will do in the next 2 years to make sure we plan well for education and post-education opportunities so that these 4 million kids who are now birth 0 to 17, as they progress into life, they have education opportunities as well as post-education or after education, fitting them into society. You would see our work with Australia and New Zealand. Part of the work, UPNG and all our universities and colleges. Our qualifications should be Australian accepted qualifications. We train kids to work here, work in Australia, work in New Zealand. We've now, the last 6 years, opened up marketplace to work both in Australia, New Zealand, and PNG. You would have heard my statement to Parliament when I became PM again on August 2022. I said, PNG education standard must rise up to world-class standard. And I define world-class standard by naming Australia as a standard that we measure against. We're showing some success. Right now, our STEM students, and I thank Dr. Clement Maine, he was able to deliver top-class maths and science and engineering courses for our grade 11 and 12 students who are now in our School of Excellence. There's a report coming through our students who are now at Dakota. 70% of them received Presidential Award and Dean's Award, meaning the GPA is average above 3.8, 3.9, 4%. Is it 4? 3.8 up to 4, 3.5, 3.6. So they're performing very well. They did not go back and sit a reputation class. They entered straight, do the examinations, and they were accepted straight into their programs. So it shows our children can excel if we input the right curriculum early on, as well as in our universities and colleges. A work that we must be doing in totality. And I want to, our sister who asked the question, there's no clear, straightforward answer to it. What we have today is a result of the education system that carried our country the last 50 years. In 1991, in the 1990s, there were a couple of major reforms when the nation was only 20 years out of independence. 1991, one of the major reforms that happened is the education system reform. I remember myself and my generation went to school in a 6-4-2 structure. 6 years of primary school, 4 years of high school, 2 years of national high school. That structure we went through. 1991 brought in 3, 4, and 2 structure. 3, I beg your pardon. What's grade 3 to grade 8? How many years? 6 years, correct? 3 to 8. So you had 3 years of elementary, another 6 years of primary, and in some cases 2 years of high school or 4 years of secondary school. Big convolution and a structure that was mismatched. When I was education minister in 2008 to 11, I saw this and we planned to eliminate this. That structure was creating more dropouts, unskilled, than citizens skilled at grade 10 or at grade 12. And so that structure contributed to a lot of half-baked that inputs from grade 12 that came to university with low English, low mathematics, low science. And so we're now revisiting this structure. So we've now introduced 1, 6, and 6, meaning 1 year of early childhood. We want to pass it back to the churches. We have churches in all villages throughout our country. So that early childhood, churches can embrace. You teach them the ethics, you teach them the morality, you teach them what is good value, the basic English, basic science. Pastor, you're not going to stop the solo. Sunday, Saturday, you out in talk. And congregation, Monday to Friday, your church is empty. Bring the children of your congregation back to early childhood so the churches can ground the ethics aspect, the culture, who we are, etc. And then they go into 6 years of primary school, 6 years. Eventually, we want to phase out grade 10, exits at grade 10. Every child is born to be somebody. The school system must be geared to harvest the natural propensity and acumen of the child. And so we want to eventually, within the next 10, 15, 20 years, eliminate dropouts at grade 6 or grade 8 or at grade 10. So every child is given a progress to grade 12. In classroom and out of classroom. There'll be a room for flexible, open education. Who says just in classroom is the key to success? Some kids, yesterday I was playing golf in the afternoon like this, and a young daughter was with, as a caregiver to another couple who were playing golf, and asked him, my daughter, what are you doing? Are you in school? And she said she's doing the FODE program that we open up, Flexible Open Distance Education, grade 11 now. And I gave her $200 and said, my daughter, I want to see you after grade 12. FODE, we've made it possible that examination at FODE through the Flexible Open Distance Education part, grade 12 certificate can be acceptable at university, just like in-classroom certificate. And that is to open up education. So whether you sitting through year 1 to year 12 in classroom or you out of classroom, again now with ICT, quality education could be embraced right away. And so every child in our country within the next 10 to 20 years, by 2045, every Papuan child would have had basic education up to grade 12. I reflect on myself. When I was doing grade 12, 1989, at Kabifa, I left grade 12 as a 18-year-old boy. I knew farming, I knew carpentry, I knew poultry, I knew beekeeping, I knew shop, looking after shop, and I had basic bookkeeping knowledge in me at 18. My 6 years of high school in a church-run school system was able to give me skills. If I had not come to UPNG in 1990, I would have been a successful businessman in Tari, because I was already equipped at 18. That's what we want to equip with, having 12 years or 13 years of contact with our kids the next 20 years. They come out of school system at 18, 19, looking for university or are able to be self-employed in their own country, creating employment, working in Australia, etc., etc. So in the gist of this conversation, my two brothers and all of you, in the heart of it is the question she asked. That 4 million people, ages 0 to 17, Mr. Hasi, you stop Lodi Paran. Our big task is embrace these young children and make sure we create enough pathways and avenues for them to be a positive citizen in our own country. Leaving them behind is at our peril. Today, the kids at university belongs to only 5% who came through grade 12. And not even 5%, maybe 1% who progress after grade 12. The rest, the peers out there in society, gone off at school at grade 8, they're only 12, 13, 14 years old. Gone off to school at grade 10, they're only 15, 16, 17. Or left school at grade 12, they're only 17, 18, or 19. That's the one that is giving us the bulge and mass of activity in society that we need to embrace and put them right away, in my view, to SME, work in Australia, etc., creating jobs through FDIs that we must do. So our big challenge on us, it's really up to all of us. If we can arrest it in the next 5 to 10 years, we are salvaging our country and moving in the right place. If we don't arrest these statistics, God help whoever becomes Prime Minister after me, it's going to have a nightmare. Please, me no talk no more.